Alrighty, guys. Welcome back in to another episode of the Playbook Podcast. This is episode 32. Um, we're happy to be here. We're excited to have Jaden back. Good to have the full crew today. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of basketball as the NBA playoffs have started. And we got a little bit of NFL talk as the draft is upcoming this weekend. A little bit more golf talk, won't be as much as last week for those who just can't hang with golf like we can. I know over 3/4 of the episode was all golf. So we're gonna shake it up a little bit, talk a little bit basketball, some football, and then some golf. But yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. Every single round, every single first round matchup has started, and the first games have all been played. So we're gonna discuss a couple of them. A couple of the games were just blowouts. We're going to talk about a couple of the blowouts, but the Grizzlies Thunder, we'll discuss that a little bit. But the Cavs Heat, there's not much to talk there. Bucks Pacers, not much to talk there, and Celtics Magic, those are all series we don't think are going to be able to go very far. But we're just gonna jump right in. We're gonna start talking about this. So the Minnesota Timberwolves did manage to get the best of the Lakers in Game 1. The Minnesota Timberwolves did win 117-95. Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid leading the way. Jaden McDaniels with 25 and Naz Reid with 23 off the bench. The Timberwolves looked really good. The Lakers kind of looked out of sorts in terms. They looked a little rusty to me, and we'll discuss a little bit of that in a little bit. But Luka had 37, which was good, but he only had one assist. He said later after the game that one assist is not good enough for him. He needs to be better. LeBron had 19, 5 and 3, 2 steals and 3 blocks, but overall not a great game from the Lakers outside of Luka offensively. So I mean, do you guys did this game concern you guys at all for the Lakers, or did it sway your pick at all?
It didn't sway my pick at all. I think on Saturday night, Austin Rivers played pretty bad. I saw they really too. We're watching more play terrible. LeBron was a little passive. He's playing like a little bit facilitator because he wants Luka to take over the team. So those people out there were showing saying he's Lee Walsh and all that crap. I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, guys. What was Jordan doing at 40 years old? I'll wait. I'll wait. What happened? What happened? You know what he was doing? He was not contending for a championship, that's for sure. He wasn't. I love Jordan too, but I'm not gonna do that to LeBron. LeBron had 8 from 18 from the field. That's not pretty. That's not bad. That's pretty decent. He was more facilitator. His defense was amazing on Saturday night. I tell you that much. It was really amazing that Saturday night. And but yeah, I'm not concerned about the Lakers at all. I'm worried about I think the bench let them down a little bit too. Dorian Finney-Smith played terrible. I will say this about LeBron though real quick. Back to LeBron. I know I'm like a little everywhere so far. I'm kind of mad about with people on social media. If I'm LeBron, I think he's mastered the fadeaway jump shot to perfection when he does with Chris Brickley and off the offseason. So if I'm LeBron, I'll use this body in the paint and kind of deal what Jordan and Kobe did when they were older. Just do fadeaways or try to make it, and then put them in the pose. And then if they double team you can pass them out and you can get assists that way instead of forcing threes. But other than that, I'm not concerned about the Lakers. Ant-Man didn't play good at all. He didn't play good at all, and I was a little surprised by that because 8 from 22 from the field is terrible. Now that's a bad game. 8 from 18 is not a bad game, people. So y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know who you are. You're a bunch of Jordan fans that want to do that to LeBron. So, like I said earlier, what was Jordan doing at 40 years old? You comment on the podcast and you come tell me. You come tell us. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was an interesting game for the Lakers. I mean, Jackson Hayes got a solid 1 point.
Yeah.
Rui didn't break double digits. I mean, there was just the only impressive numbers we saw was, you know, they only had three out of their 5 getting double digits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luka, I mean, he got 37 points. Like Trey said, LeBron was, you know, he's being a little more of a facilitator. But I think what the Lakers need is, you know, I think they need a little bit more of LeBron on the offensive side. As far as scoring, I think he needs to, you know, go for a little more, shoot more, a little more shots. Not to say that he didn't, but I think I mean, on top of that, I mean, they just need, you know, Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes. They need to score more points, especially being on the starting lineup. I mean, on the other side of the ball, the Timberwolves. I mean, they played good. They all played great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was just you know, they were just the first game's kind of the figuring out stage of how the other team's going to play in the playoffs. So I think the Lakers are going to, you know, learn from this first game, figure out what they need to do better. And, you know, if they have another game like this, then we'll have to have a different conversation. But as of right now, I'm not really concerned about the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all good points. I want to point a couple things out. LeBron is notorious, and you know, you guys are saying passive. He's notoriously passive in game ones of every series. You know,
of his career.
It's just it's called the LeBron feel out game. That's just kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, Luka Doncic also is not great in round or game ones. Like his record, he's now 2-7 in game ones. He was 2-6 before this game. So this is not surprising. I've seen, you know, I spend a decent amount of time on basketball Twitter. I see a lot of people say a lot of crazy stuff. The overreaction for this is like, have you guys ever watched like a LeBron led team in your life? They lost the first game of the very first series in 2020 in the bubble. They lost the game 1 in Portland. They lost game 1 in Houston. Both of those games ended up ending in 5. I'm not. And then in 2018, round 1, the Cavs versus the Pacers, the Cavs got blown out by the Pacers in 2018. And LeBron, I mean, he wasn't great, 7 of 17, very similar to, he had more assists and rebounds, but I'm not very surprised that it went this way. My pick was Lakers in 6. I'm still very, very confident in that. I still feel like that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, the Timberwolves hitting 21 out of 42 threes, a franchise record in the playoffs, 50%. I don't think that's going to happen again. JJ Redick did say he wishes he had practiced the guys more leading up to the game. They took a lot of time off in those 9 days they were off because, you know, letting a lot of these injuries heal up. And, you know, JJ Redick said today they had one of their best practices they've had in months. So they're ramping up. Dorian Finney-Smith said his lack of touches was made him passive and that he was not going to be that way. He's going to be more aggressive on defense in game 2. I'm not worried. Like Jaden said, though, if they do lose game 2, we're going to have a completely different conversation. I still think the Lakers could win if they lose game 2, but they need to win. They need to win game 2. Absolutely. Headed back to Minnesota tied up. But yeah, Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels were hitting some ridiculous threes. Anthony Edwards didn't score very well, but he did pass the ball well. He had 9 assists. I was pretty impressed with his passing. And he only had 1 turnover. So I'm the Lakers looked a little rusty to me. They looked a little, you know, not prepared, but they were just rusty. They probably hadn't really played basketball in 9 days, and that's a big deal. You know, that we talk about in football when the first seed rests their guys the last week, and then they look rusty the first half of the first game in the playoffs. It's very similar to this. So I'm not worried. LeBron will be more aggressive starting game 2. He kind of can bully every single person on the Timberwolves, like Trey was saying. I expect him to be a lot more aggressive going to the basket, and you know, being a little more aggressive from the get-go is what I expect, and that's how LeBron plays, guys. He's not very aggressive in game one. He ramps it up. Jackson Hayes needs to step up. He only had 8 minutes. He missed 2 dunks. That's not great. He needs to play better. I think just overall, we'll see how game 2 goes, but I'm fairly confident that there's going to be, a completely different Lakers team going into that second game. So absolutely. I mean, I guess like we can talk about this. I mean, could you guys see the Timberwolves being able to win this series?
It's 50-50 for me. Because I still think Edmonds the best player on that team, obviously, but I think he's been carrying that team all year, and not one guy really stepped up this year. And I've been watching Ant-Man this whole season, because he's my second favorite player to watch, behind LeBron and the Lakers, of course. But I think that I don't think he can beat this team because he doesn't have Karl-Anthony Towns anymore. That depth is gone.
Yeah.
Julius Randle is terrible in the playoffs. Look at his record in the playoffs, guys. It's terrible. It ain't good. So I think for sure. I think we did that thing to Luka. Luka's gonna take it personal, man. He's gonna remember that, and he's gonna destroy you. So, man, we'll look out for Luka next game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just more of the same of what I said earlier. I think, especially with JJ Redick, heading the team, I think that they're going to be able to, watch back the film and of the games and, really analyze where the weak spots are for the Timberwolves and really analyze where their weak spots are and how they can, capitalize on certain moments, So I think for the Lakers, I think that they're really going to come with a different energy this next game. And I think they're going to be, like Nick said, it was LeBron's fill-out game. So, they're going to they felt how the Timberwolves are going to play. And I think that they're going to come back with a different energy and, really play differently.
Yeah.
So, the Timberwolves may have a chance, but I just don't see it happening unless, the Lakers just completely just wet the bed the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they can win the series. Like anything can happen. The Timberwolves are a good team with a good player and a good roster, but I just don't see a world where LeBron and Luka don't turn it up 15 notches to get through this series. I really don't see it. Trey was absolutely right. Austin Reeves has to play better. He was horrible in the first half. He kind of picked it up in the second half when the game was out of reach, but so hopefully that, momentum will carry over into game 2. The bench has to be better. They just have to be better. Maybe give Dalton Connect some more minutes. I know he can't play defense, but man, he can hit some threes, and maybe that would help a lot. I think Jordan Goodwin, when he's in, has to be more aggressive attacking. And I think someone just got a phone call. It was probably from JJ Redick. He wants to know what we think about the game. So we're going to let him know. JJ, play Dalton Connect more if you're on the other end of that phone. Play him more. Jared Vanderbilt's a great defender. He can't shoot. Gabe Vincent has to step up. He's got to be better. Dorian Finney-Smith has to be better. Everyone has to be better. Literally everybody. And I feel that will definitely happen. So, moving on to another game, the Nuggets Clippers. This was easily the most exciting game of this first round, game ones. This went into overtime. It was a very, very fun game to watch. The Nuggets pulled it out 112-110, led by a great performance from Joker. He had 29, 9, and 12. He had 3 steals and a block. And Aaron Gordon added 25 of his own, and Jamal Murray hit some Jamal Murray was horrible until the fourth quarter, and then he did the thing where he just hits big shot after big shot after big shot. And on the Clippers side, James Harden was spectacular, 32.6 rebounds, 11 assists. Kawhi Leonard, 22, 6 and 2, 3 steals. Kawhi needs to shoot the ball more. I'm just going to say that right off the rip. 15 shots is not enough for Kawhi. Kawhi needs to have 20. There's no way Norman Powell had 12 and Zubac had 15. Zubac should make 10 of those 15. So, but Kawhi needs to be a little more aggressive. But the Nuggets did end up coming back. They were down 20 at some point during the game, and they managed to fight back. I believe it might have been 20. If not, it was 10. It was definitely 10 plus. They came back, forced OT, and then pulled it out. I mean, I think that I picked the Nuggets and y'all picked the Clippers in this series. We all have it going 7. Were you guys, did this game impress? Did the Nuggets impress you in any way? Do you guys think that maybe if Jamal Murray steps up, this team could make a push for the conference finals at least?
I think so, yeah. But I just think that Russell Westbrook, it depends with Russ. He's too athletic that he makes some dumb mistakes. You saw in OKC when he was younger. You saw it with the Lakers, obviously, and the Rockets. So it's up to Russ. I mean, I find it funny how every team he's been through, every coach just got him fired in his career. Like, think about it. So I just think that it depends on Russ's career, on Russ's game. And I think I agree with you about Kawhi Leonard. I'm surprised he played and didn't get off the court like 5 seconds later. And but yeah, I think Zubac has to do better on defense too against Jokic, man.
That's a hard task. That's a hard task.
It is.
I mean, they're both at the same body, so I don't know. I just think that Harden was carrying that team. Man. It was without Harden, man. They wouldn't be in this game right now. That in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched the Nuggets a lot, especially with Jokic being on the team. And the Nuggets are a very comeback team.
Very much so. Yeah.
They can have a crazy deficit and that doesn't faze them. They continue to play the game like they're winning with the same energy. I just think, Jokic he has the ability to, for the most part, he has the ability to score when, kind of when he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, on both sides of the ball, there was definitely some, some shaky moments, but that comes, first game of the playoffs, but figuring out your matchup. So I think that the Nuggets will be able to pull away with this one. I have them winning this series personally, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah. I have a couple concerns. So I did pick the Nuggets in 7. I still think that that's probably what's going to happen. If not, like either team, these teams are so close. I think the Clippers have a better roster. The Nuggets have the best player. Here's the big issue. Aaron Gordon, 46 minutes. Nikola Jokic, 46 minutes. Jamal Murray, 48 minutes. Christian Braun, 45 minutes. That's a lot of minutes to play in your first game in the playoffs. Every single one of these games is going to be an absolute slugfest. And guess who these teams have to? Whoever wins this series, guess who they have to play? The Thunder. The Thunder are going to sweep the Grizzlies, and they're going to have a week off before this series is wrapped up. So whoever wins this war of a series is going to have to go out and play against the Thunder. So that's going to be rough too. But I was very impressed with James Harden. He hit some spectacular shots.
Yeah.
Kawhi was big down the stretch. Norman Powell has to be better if they want to win this series. Clippers fans all year saying LeBron took Norman Powell's play or all-star spot, and then he puts up a stinker. He's got to play better. For Russ, I agree with what Trey was saying that it's going to be tough to win when Russ does stupid things, but he had some fantastic moments in that game. I'm going to give him credit. Some great hustle plays, some great steals. He had 4 offensive rebounds. Like, his energy was very palpable, and I think the crowd was feeding off his energy. So it's you kind of have to play him because the rest of the team stinks. The rest of the bench is horrible. So you kind of have to play Russ. 6 guys got over 20 minutes on the Nuggets. 6 guys, that's it. They don't have a very deep bench. They don't really have a bench at all. So it'll be interesting to see. But right now they are playing game 2. So we'll see what happens there. I expect the Clippers to be able to pull that one out to make it, the 7-game series we all think it's going to be. But yeah, this is going to be a war. This is going to be an absolute war. So moving on here to the Warriors Rockets. This game happened last night, I believe, or the night before. I don't remember. My days and nights are all sorts of. It was yesterday. Okay, it was yesterday. So the Warriors beat the Rockets 95-85. The Rockets were able to overcome about a 25-ish point deficit and make it at one point a 4-point game before the Warriors ended up pulling away there at the very end. The Stephen Curry led the way points-wise, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Jimmy Butler had a huge game, stuff in the stat sheet, 25.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. He had a 5-by-5 game. He was very, very impressive, especially early on when Curry really wasn't playing well. Jimmy Butler was kind of dominating, doing whatever he wanted to. Then Steph picked it up in the second quarter and then for the rest of the game. Over on the Rocket side, the only Rocket that really could do anything was Şengün. He had 26-9 and 1 assist. And then from there, it was just, Fred VanVleet was 4 of 19. Jalen Green was 3 of 15. Amen Thompson was 4 of 9. Dylan Brooks was 3 of 9. Tari Eason off the bench, 3 of 10. So this was a really interesting game to me. I don't remember what pick I made before we started. I don't actually remember. I was going back and forth between Warriors in 6 or Rockets in 7. The Rockets lost, and I'll kind of bounce this off you guys, see what you think. The Rockets did lose, but I think they shouldn't be too mad about this loss. They had a 30-10 run at one point in the third quarter, or like the third quarter and the fourth quarter. They had a 30-10 run over a stretch between those 2 quarters, and Steph and Jimmy combined for 56. And then the rest of the Warriors combined for 39. You're pretty happy about that. And for the Rockets, it's literally just like, hey, if Fred VanVleet or Jalen Green don't stink, we probably win this game. So I think if I'm the Rockets, I wouldn't be too concerned about this loss. There's definitely some things you can do. Both defenses are obviously very good. Not a single team over 100. So that was quite impressive on that end. But I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think the Rockets should be disappointed in this loss, or do you think they should be able to see some weaknesses they can attack?
Actually, I have the Warriors winning in 7. So, because I think the experience is there for the Warriors, and I think don't get me wrong, the Rockets are a young team. If they win 7 games, I won't be surprised. I think their defense is a lot better than the Warriors so far. But I mean, that's just me. I do agree with you. I think Jalen Green, he's a baller. Don't get me wrong, but if he didn't play bad last night, they probably would have won. In my opinion, he's their best player on that team in my book.
I think it's Şengün, but yeah. Jaden?
Yeah. You know what? If you talk about kind of what you talked about um, with the Nuggets, both Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry played 40 minutes. Doing
Mhm.
that for a
Yep.
7-game stretch, they're gonna get tired eventually. And when Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry are the only people who are putting up big numbers on your team, and you
Mhm.
combine that with them playing 40 plus minutes a game, they're gonna be tired by the end of the series. I think what needs to happen is their bench and their supporting starting lineup needs to
Gotta step up.
contribute a little more, so that way they don't have to play this long, and they can get more time on the bench. Because if not, they're just going to have to play 40 plus minutes every single game, and then they'll get tired, and then it's going to hurt them.
Mhm.
The Rockets, they did have they did have a good stretch, and they tightened this gap a little bit towards the end of the game. But I also have the Warriors winning this one in 7. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But I think the only way that they don't win this is if Jimmy Butler, or if they're the only way they don't win this, if Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry have to keep on playing 40 minutes a game.
Yeah. I mean, Rockets 6 of 29 from 3. That's not great. 11 of 20 from the free throw line. That's not great. A lot of points on the board there. If I'm a Rockets fan, if I'm a Rockets player, I'm not worried. It took 56 points from their big two to be able to beat us in a game where our stars outside of Şengün, our best players outside of Şengün, played horrible. I mean, Fred VanVleet was awful. Jalen Green was awful. No one else really did anything. So, in another concerning thing, I think for the Warriors is when Steven Adams was out there. I mean, the Warriors looked tiny. The Steven Adams had 5 offensive rebounds, 12 total rebounds in 20 minutes. Can he play 30 minutes game 2? And try to enforce more of that, that size difference in the difference of the teams would be interesting. We'll see how Ime Udoka is able to adapt and make adjustments, because he's a great coach. Steph played great. Jimmy, I thought was unbelievable. I know Steph had more points, but early in the game, Jimmy was just kind of doing whatever he wanted to. He's playing great defense on Jalen Green. And he was roaming, doing whatever he needed to do. But Jimmy Butler was fantastic, and Steph Curry was great as well. So we'll see what happens in game 2. But if I'm a Rockets fan, I wouldn't stress. I feel like that there's definitely some things the Rockets can do to be able to win, make this a series, make it go 7 at least. So, moving over to the Pistons and Knicks, I really wanted to talk about the series. I feel like each round one, there's that series that like shouldn't matter, but it's actually really fun to watch. That's kind of the Pistons Knicks. It was tough. It was a nasty game. A lot of back and forth. The Knicks ended up pulling away. They had a 40-point fourth quarter to be able to pull away. They went on a big run in the fourth to pull away from the Pistons. They won 123 to 112. Jalen Brunson had 34 points. He looked fantastic. Karl Anthony Towns added 23. OG and Anunoby added 23. Josh Hart with 13, 7, and 6. Cameron Payne off the bench with 14. It was a great overall team win. They were able to hold Cade Cunningham to 8 of 21 shooting. He did have 12 assists and 6 rebounds and 21 points, but they were able to hold him at bay a bit. Tim Hardaway Jr. with 19. Tobias Harris with 25. He actually played very well. So the Knicks ended up taking game 1. Actually, just wrapping up moments ago, the Pistons took game 2. So this series is tied at 1-1. We weren't able to, we weren't anticipating that to happen in the middle of the in the middle of the pod, but that's how it goes. So this series is tied 1-1. And my question was the Pistons proved they can hang with them. And then the follow-up was, can they actually win the series? And now that it's tied 1-1, I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Oh, they definitely can win this series, man. They definitely can.
I like the Pistons, dude.
I have Pistons in 7.
Wow.
I know New York is great, but Tom Thibodeau, look at this, guys. Jalen Brunson had 40 minutes in game 1.
He's on a bum ankle, by the way, too.
Yeah, he's hurt too. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt last year in the playoffs. Josh Hart, 30 minutes. OG and then Mobley, 44 minutes.
Hmm.
And then top of that, they didn't really have a good bench at all compared to the Pistons have. And on top of that too, I think the Pistons are more tough and more defensive side of the basketball as well.
Mhm.
But I have Pistons winning in 7. And I think is great. I think that New York team is great, but I have Pistons winning in 7, guys. So that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before this series started, I also had the Pistons winning this series. I just think that, me personally, I just think that the Pistons have a lot more, balance across their team as far as, people scoring and, equally contributing. In their first game, they all had a good game. I haven't really looked at the score of the game from tonight. Let's see here. So yeah, Jalen Brunson was the only one who, really put out big numbers. He got 37 points.
Yeah, game 2.
Yeah, in game 2. And Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, he only put out 10 points. So, I think it's one of those things that if, not to say that the Knicks are a bad team, but if Karl-Anthony Towns isn't, on top of his game, it kind of puts them in a little bit of a bind because he's kind of one of their big scorers on their team. Mm-hmm. So, but I still think, regardless, I think Pistons will win it. I said Pistons in 6 personally, not 7, but I think they can take it to 6.
I can see that.
I mean, that'd be pretty impressive. I like the Pistons. Cade Cunningham was able to kind of break out a little bit in this game too. 33 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 11 of 21 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line. So I'm assuming he was very aggressive. I didn't get a chance to watch this game yet, so this is just purely based off of what I'm seeing here. But I'm imagining he was more aggressive. Dennis Schroeder was big again, 20 points off the bench. Tobias Harris played great, 15-13. Jalen Duren, I think he'd be a stud. I think he is a stud, and I think he could be a star in this league eventually if he develops a good offensive game. 12 points, 13 rebounds for him. Yeah, I like the Pistons team more. I think they're better coached. I think Tom Thibodeau is I have my issues with Tom Thibodeau as a former Derrick Rose. Well, not former, because I will always love Derrick Rose, but since he is retired, I will always have my issues with him because of what he did and how he ran him ragged. But I think JB Bickerstaff is better than Tom Thibodeau, and I think I think the best player on the floor is Cade Cunningham. Some people disagree with me, say it's Jalen Brunson. I think it's Cade Cunningham. He's bigger. He's faster. He's stronger. I just think he imposes more on a defense. And from my initial view, Karl-Anthony Towns had 10 points, but he only shot the ball 11 times. Jalen Brunson shot it 27. Yeah. I don't think Jalen Brunson needs to be shooting 27 times a night. I just don't. I don't think he needs to be doing that. Karl Anthony Towns is a proven winner. He made the conference finals last year. He was a big part in that Timberwolves run. You went out and got OG Anunoby to help you on this offense if he only gets 10 shots. I don't know. I got the Pistons. It might be in 6. I think it's going to go 7, but man, that Pistons crowd's going to be rocking. I'm telling you guys, the first playoff game in almost 10 years, that arena is going to be on fire. That's going to be a really hard place to play in. So I'm excited to see where the series goes. And I like the Pistons. I think they're a couple years and a couple pieces away from being a legitimate contender in the East. I really do. They have great young players. They have good veterans. They're well coached. 1 more piece, 2 more pieces, I think that they could legitimately make a run in the East. But we're going to move on here to some other basketball topics that we did cover most of the playoffs there. The Nuggets Clippers game 2 is happening right now. So we'll keep you guys updated on that if anything happens there. But Paul Pierce, he likes to talk a lot, and a lot of the things he says are not very smart. But Paul Pierce did say that he said if Curry gets to 5, we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations. He was referring to Curry's place on Mount Rushmore ahead of LeBron James if he gets 5. I have a lot to say about this. So do you guys want to go first before I unload on this? I know Trey probably also. Trey's just mad. I don't know if he has too much to say, but he's very mad. I'll let you guys go and then I'll comment on this. What do you guys think of Paul Pierce saying that?
Okay, Paul Pierce, you should be banned from television, dude. You should literally be banned in front of a camera. I don't care if it's with KG or FS1. You should be banned. There's a reason why ESPN fired you. Because that's just a blasphemous, ridiculous take ever. Okay. I blame Kevin Durant for this because Kevin Durant was the best player for those 2 finals runs they had against the Cavs. I tell you what, you give Steph Curry without Kevin Durant. LeBron's 3-peating that 3 years ago. Yep. He would have 3-peated. Okay. Steph, and here's the deal, I'm gonna do this too. I don't know why people say Steph Curry's a generational talent, him and LeBron are. So did Kobe Bryant ever play basketball, guys? Did Tim Duncan ever play basketball? We're just gonna disrespect those players and move them out of the way. But Curry ahead of them.
I know.
Like, all because he shoots threes and changes the game. Good for him. But some people, I say this too, and my estimate too. Yes, he changed the game for the better. Also for the worse as well. NBA is a copycat league, and look at the Boston Celtics right now shooting the most threes since the Warriors happened. So I'll blame Curry for that. So this is just laughable to me. Rings don't matter in the GOAT debate. Jordan said it on a podcast in 2020. If you haven't seen that podcast, look it up. He said it with that one guy, smoking cigars with this one guy. Rings don't matter in the GOAT debate, guys. I literally blame Kevin Durant for this stuff. I blame him for it. I really do. If he was the best, even 2015, before they won a ring, LeBron beat them. Andre Iguodala won a Finals MVP. Curry has 1 Finals MVP. That shows he ain't that guy to lead. He's playing the play-in tournament more than anybody ever since it was created. He has 1 win in a play-in tournament. 1. The Lakers beat them. The Grizzlies beat them. I forgot who else beat them. Someone else beat them too. I think it was as it was last season. I forgot who it was, but someone knocked them out of the play-in tournament. I think if I'm mistaken, it was the Pelicans. If I'm mistaken. But Here's the deal. Steph Curry will never be better than LeBron James. He'll never be better than Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Bird. Heck, to this point, I don't think he's even better than Jokic and Giannis at this point. I mean, right? I mean, I tell you what, we gave Giannis a ring this year, or Jokic a ring this year. They're passing up Curry in my top 10 for sure. I have Curry top 9 right now. I have the one person I have behind him is better than in my book is Hakeem Olajuwon. That's it. Other than that, I don't think he's better than anybody else in the NBA history. The disrespect to Kobe Bryant, to Tim Duncan, is insane. And even D Wade.
Kareem.
And Kareem. But in this generation overall, he's not the best player he's not the second best player in his generation at all. It's Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan or D Wade or Kevin Durant at this point. You can debate it all you want, but Curry is not in that realm of this generation GOAT at all. Go ahead.
Yeah. I have basically about the same thing to say, so I'll just add on what I have to add on. I saw that referencing that video that Jordan. Jordan said he said if we counted rings, he said that put Bill Russell being better than me. And and he basically said you can't just count you can't based who's the best on who has the most rings. And so I don't think that Curry winning a chip puts him better than LeBron. I think Curry has a lot of boxes to check before he'd even become close to that conversation.
Or even a top 5 player in NBA history.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at our GOAT debate, he barely made our top 10s. And to say that he's better than LeBron is, that's kind of insane. And Paul Pierce is, known for making crazy comments like this. So it's not the first time he said something like this, but basically more of the same what Trey said and all that. But yeah, I don't think Curry will ever be better than LeBron.
So I hate when things like this happen because we come off as a Curry hating show. That's not the case. If you guys watched me play basketball, you'd be like, this guy shoots a lot of threes. He plays like Steph Curry. I shoot a lot of threes. Okay. I don't hate Curry. In fact, I actually quite like Curry as a player. I like him as a well, and until it comes to affordable housing, then we gotta discuss some other things. But I like Steph. I think he's a great player. I don't remember exactly where I had him in my top 10. I believe it was definitely in the 8, 9, 10 range. Top 10 player ever. He's 6'3". He's not that strong. He's actually a lot faster than people give him credit for, especially in his prime. But he shouldn't be as good as he is. He overcame his disadvantage in height with his ability in shooting. It's just stuff like this that really just makes me angry because it's disingenuous. It's not good basketball talk. Why does one more ring than LeBron constitute Curry being better when he has 1 Finals MVP, only 2 regular season MVPs? He's never been a great defensive player, right? I think he's been underrated at times on defense, but he's not good on defense. He's not a good rebounder. He's not a very good passer for being a point guard. He's actually a pretty decent rebounder for his size, but he's not a great passer for being a point guard. LeBron's better at everything except shooting. That's literally that's it. He's better at driving. He's better at finishing. He's better at passing. He's better at rebounding. He's better at defense. I think LeBron has a better fadeaway because Curry doesn't really ever fade away. So better post game. So I don't even want to talk about the accolades because that's ridiculous. LeBron has way more accolades. I don't even want to go there. When LeBron won in 2016, came back from 3-1, LeBron and the Cavs won. Curry said, "Okay, I am willing to give my team away to Kevin Durant if it means I can beat LeBron." If we flip the roles and LeBron did that, he would forever be scrutinized. He would forever be looked down upon. He was looked down upon for leaving to the Miami Heat. And that Miami Heat team was extremely overrated. That team was not half as good as everyone says it was, especially in 2013 and 2014 when D Wade started falling off a cliff. That team was nothing special. I'm sorry. It just wasn't. It wasn't. D Wade was great until he wasn't. Chris Bosh was good until he was good. But if you look at that roster, it wasn't anything to write home about. I think the Celtics right now have a far superior roster to the Miami Heat. Right? I think the Thunder have a far superior roster to the Miami Heat. But that being said, if LeBron did that, everyone would crush him for it. Why? Because LeBron is in the Jordan debates. LeBron is held to a higher standard than anyone in basketball. LeBron lost game 1 at 40, and I had to look at people saying, and by the way, he doesn't really win game 1s that often anyways, and I had to be on Twitter and see people say, "Oh, the Lakers should cut him and build around Luka." Like, there's no one on this planet in sports right now that gets held to a higher standard than LeBron Raymond James Sr. at age 40. Why? Because he's the GOAT. MJ, no one cares what he did at 40. Like Trey said at the beginning of the show, what was he doing at 40? Smoking cigs and sucking on the Wizards. That's what he was doing. Okay? He's probably gambling too. No one cares. No one cares that his team sucked in Washington. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that he stunk. Nobody cares. Why? Because he's not the GOAT. Because it's LeBron. LeBron's held to a higher standard than MJ. He's held to a higher standard than Curry. He's held to a much higher standard than anyone you can think of in basketball. So Paul Pierce saying this is also funny. He just doesn't like LeBron because LeBron punked him as soon as he got a decent team around him. This is just blatantly, it's just bad basketball talk. It's just stupid. It's obvious hate and bias towards LeBron. There's nothing that Curry can do after just seeming everyone has forgotten about the KD stuff for some reason. Guys, if LeBron did that, you guys would literally kill him. And I know people are going to say, well, LeBron got Luka. LeBron had no idea Luka was coming, and LeBron is also 40. When Steph Curry got KD, does anyone know how old he was? He was in his 20s. He was in his prime. If this was 2014 LeBron and Luka, okay, I could see some issues there. Like, yeah, I could see people being upset about that. This is completely different. It's not the same. Paul Pierce, you're ridiculous. You're stupid. You should be banned from television. You should be arrested, actually. We should actually arrest you for saying that. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry I went long. I just hate. That's just ridiculous, man. No. 5. Okay, so does he leapfrog Kobe? Does he leapfrog Tim Duncan? Does he leapfrog Kareem? Does he leapfrog Jordan? No. So how is he better than LeBron? Hello? What are we doing? Okay, I'll tell you this. If Curry averages 100 points a game for the rest of the playoffs and wins the chip, I'll say he's the GOAT. How about that? Deal? 100 points a game for the rest of the series, for the rest of the playoffs. I'll say he's the GOAT. How about that? How about that, Paul? Goodness gracious.
I think after LeBron in his Celtics run, he hates LeBron, man. He hates him.
He hates him.
That's the same. Hey, Paul, on top of that, I'm gonna do something else too. Skip Bayless, okay? And Paul was talking about on the podcast. Paul said he can guard LeBron, the best he's ever guarded LeBron that anybody's ever had in their prime. Paul Pierce, LeBron dropped 45, 15, and 5 on your head.
Yeah.
And then let's go back a couple years prior to that. In 2008, LeBron was like in his 23 years old. He dropped 45 again on your head too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look this up real quick. LeBron, this is what LeBron does to Paul Pierce. Look, LeBron James.
I already got it here for you. You want it?
Yeah.
So their games. So they've played. Wow, they've played 69 total times. LeBron is 35. Paul Pierce is 134. In the regular season, Paul Pierce has the edge, 21-18. In the playoffs, LeBron has the edge, 17-13. But here's the thing. Here's the stats between the two. Averages. Paul Pierce averaged against LeBron 18, 5, and 3. Okay, so he's Tobias Harris. All right, this is LeBron's averages: 29, 7, 6.
Wow.
2 steals and a block. Yeah, LeBron owned you, buddy. LeBron absolutely owned you.
For him to say that, you know, man, I can lock up LeBron in my prime. I did that. No, you didn't, bro. You didn't lock up Kobe Bryant, dude. Like, calm down.
You did not. You did not.
He's the most overrated player in NBA history, dude. In my book, he's the most overrated player. That stupid injury he got in 2008 finals was so stupid. He wanted attention, so it was the cutest thing ever. Kevin Garnett should have won that Finals MVP. You weren't even the best player on your team. It was KG. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even you, bro. You had to recruit KG, Rondo, Ray Allen to beat LeBron James, dude. And guess what, Paul Pierce? Kobe Bryant averaged 29 on your head, dude, in 2010. You were still in your prime, bro. And you had the greatest team probably ever assembled in that run. You had defense. You had Rasheed Rice. You had Kendrick Perkins in the paint, who was a beast defender. You had Tony Allen. You had Doc Rivers. You had all these players on your team, and you have one ring to show for it, Paul. That's insane. He's a terrible leader, and he's the most overrated player in the history of basketball, without any question. It's him and Kareem, not Kareem. It's him and Wilt, the most overrated players in basketball history. He's so overrated. He wasn't even that good. He had no skill. He couldn't. His shot sucked. He had no handle, bro. No bag. He did it, man. He was the best player on his team, bro. It was KG.
So in that legendary 45, 5, and 15 and 5 LeBron had, Paul Pierce had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist on 4 of 18 shooting. And then in game 7, when LeBron punked him again, 31-12 and 2, Paul Pierce had 19 and 4. Paul Pierce is just angry. He's an angry man. He's mad at LeBron. LeBron gets held to a higher standard than anybody. That just lets me know he's the GOAT. No one gets held to the standard he does, because he's the GOAT. That's what standards GOATs get held to, is the highest. So he's the GOAT. The NBA MVP finalists list came out. It is SGA, Jokic, and Giannis. And is this NBA finalist? Is that somebody who has Giannis winning MVP?
Yeah, I saw. Okay. I think it was. I forgot. Some writer did, and from Yahoo had Giannis.
Okay. MVP. So here's. So SGA is going to win MVP. It's just the way it goes. I think Giannis getting first place votes is totally warranted and valid. What Giannis did with that piece of crap team that he had is very, very impressive. I think Giannis has kind of gotten overlooked now. He was unbelievable this year. He's been unbelievable for a long time. But yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think SGA is going to win. I think SGA deserves to win. He's on a 68-win team. He's going to win the scoring title. But Giannis definitely deserves some first place votes for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, and plus Saturday night too against the Pacers. It was literally 1 versus 5 in that game, bro.
Hey, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the 2018 Pacers Cavs series is what it looked like to me. We'll see Yeah,
I think
I
I think Giannis is overlooked, man. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I think
for
because
sure.
of Jokic. But before, I mean, look, Giannis averaged almost 40 points per game in 2021 NBA Finals. People forget that.
Mhm.
He was defensively too was amazing that series.
Yeah, I don't think we should hold LeBron or Giannis to 2018 LeBron standards, but I think Giannis should be able to make this at least a series by himself. Sure. I think,
Yeah.
unless Kyle Kuzma goes, 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists in 22 minutes. #cardio. So we'll see. We'll see what
He has
happens
good heart
there.
rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Tony Snell has been replaced. We got a new cardio image now with Kyle Kuzma, but yeah, for sure. So, Jaden, did you want to add anything to that?
I think if SGA doesn't get it, then
It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, like he has to get it. He has to get it. 68 wins, guys. That's too much. That's too much. You can't go 68 wins and not get MVP, especially when you had the season he did. Was he the statistically
Yeah.
the best? No, that was Jokic. But you can't win 68 games. It's just that's just one of those things. I just that's too close. That's too close
You
to
can't-
70.
You can't just look at the stats too.
Yeah, I think 68 plus wins, like unless you're on the like I don't know, the 2012 Redeem team or the 2016 or the 2024 Avengers team, then I don't think that's fair. But yeah, for sure. For sure. I think SGA should win. I think he will. So we're gonna move over to the NFL here. We haven't talked about the NFL in a while, which I like. I hate talking about the NFL because I hate my team and I just hope that I just hate talking about it. But the NFL draft is right around the corner. It is on Thursday. So it is up and coming. The right here, I'll just say Yahoo's mock draft. We'll go to Yahoo's just for fun because Yahoo's great. Yahoo mock draft 9.0. Here we go. Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward, Cleveland Browns, Travis Hunter, New York Giants, which I've seen Travis Hunter go up to 2 in almost every mock draft now. Abdul Carter, 3 to the Giants. Will Campbell, 4 to the Patriots. Ashton Genty, 5 to the Jaguars in this one. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think he'd get past the Raiders anyways, though. Raiders, Armand Membo to the Raiders. Tyler Warren to the Jets. Jalen Walker to the Panthers. Jackson Dart to the Saints. That's whoo. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. Which I have actually heard a lot of things about Jackson Dart's draft stock going through the roof recently. Bears Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle. Mason Graham to the Niners. And they got the Cowboys. I've seen this. I've seen a lot of people saying Matthew Golden, the Texas wide receiver, to the Cowboys. So we'll stop there because no one really cares about anything else other than those teams, right, guys? Obviously. So I mean, what teams do you think have the chance to improve the most from the draft this year?
Jenny, go first.
Well, I'm trying to find the Yahoo one that you were looking at.
I'll throw it in here.
Let's see here. I think I got it right here.
Wow, that's a large URL. My bad.
Okay, yeah, I have it right here.
Cool.
You know, honestly, I think the Browns getting Travis Hunter, I think that's pretty huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's if that actually happens, I think that would be huge. And then
Yeah.
Obviously the Titans getting Cam Ward as well.
Yeah.
These first like 5 to 6, I think they're all great picks. I don't think I think any team that gets, even if they're mixed up, like, even if the picking order is mixed up of who goes where. I think these are all great picks. You have Ashton Genty going to the Jaguars. That'd be huge for them. But I mean, they're honestly the lineup is, there's some good players coming into the draft this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
For sure.
I'm just excited to see who goes where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go, Trey?
Yeah. No, you go. I still thinking about it.
Okay. So I have a couple teams. I mean, obviously, yeah, like the top, the top 5 or whatever. That's kind of boring because obviously they want to get better. They have the best chance to get better. I think this is a big chance for the Bengals here. The Bengals have to nail this draft. I'm talking day 1, day 2, all of the days, every round. They got to nail them. They need help on the defensive line. They need help on the offensive line. I think they need some help in the secondary. They obviously have plenty of weapons, and they have Joe Burrow quarterback. But I really think that this is a good chance for the Bengals to make some moves, maybe get into the first round again, maybe trade up if they like a guy. I think this is a great chance for them. They got to shore up that defensive line because they did lose some major pieces there. They got to get better on the O-line. So for me, it's the Bengals. I feel like the Bengals are the team I'm looking at that they have to have a big day on Thursday for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Raiders to get Genty because of Pete Carroll's and their coach, and I think he kind of coached Marshawn Lynch too. So he kind of has the same dynamic too.
If Genty's at 6, Pete Carroll's drafting them for sure, no doubt.
If not, then he's retired because he's turned into someone that was president for a while. I think for sure. I think the Cowboys need a tight end because
the Cowboys need help.
The Cowboys need everything. The Cowboys need a new owner. Can they draft a new owner? Guys?
I have something to tell y'all. I have a strong feeling that they're going to get Shedeur Sanders.
Dude, stop the Shedeur Sanders stuff, bro. Please stop, bro.
I have a feeling.
You gotta stop, bro. No, please, no. Please, no.
Jerry Jones would be like that. Jerry Jones loves the Deion Sanders, so, and plus he's from there too. So I don't know. I think it will happen. I hope not. But I think either way, they need someone. The Cowboys need like a receiver to help CeeDee Lamb out because I think Michael Gallup he's kind of washed down now, so he needs another playmaker too with CeeDee in the wide receiver run. And I think for sure the Chiefs need an O-line big time to help Mahomes out because last year on Super Bowl was terrible. That was the most boring game I've ever watched in my life. So that they need I think they will get some D line to help Mahomes out.
Yeah, those are good. But yeah, I like it. If the Cowboys draft Shedeur Sanders, I might lose it. And it's not because Shedeur's bad, okay? I want everyone to know this. I don't think Shedeur's bad. Do I think he's a great quarterback? No. Do I think he's a good quarterback? Maybe. Is he better than me at quarterback? Yes. I just think that that's a horrible waste of a draft pick when you have a guy who you're paying $90 billion to, okay? Kawhi just hit a 3 at the buzzer at halftime. The Clippers are at 55-52. If they do that, I'll lose my mind. I will call Jerry Jones. I will say, Jerry, I'm coming for you right now. I'm going to give you a 10-second head start is what I'm going to tell him. Okay. I'm going to say right now, I'm headed there right now. You have a couple hours to get as far away as you possibly can. If they draft him at 12, I can't say on this platform what I'm going to do because I might get flagged and they might flag and take our stuff down. They might send the feds after me. So I will not say what I would do if they draft Shedeur at 12. If he's there in round 2 and they draft him in round 2, I can't say what I would do then either. Get Dak some help because he's getting paid $80 million trillion. So at least put a team around him. Go get another skill position guy. Matthew Golden, I think, is a great pick there. Shore up some, everything because the team stinks. So shore up everything else in the rest of the drafts. Trey, I hope this is just a stupid premonition you're having. It's not real. Because if it's real,
No,
I'm
I have a
losing my
feeling,
mind.
man. I mean, I hear on podcasts, I hear Mel Kiper Jr.
No. That's
For
stupid.
some reason.
It's just dumb. If it happens, I'm going to be very, very, very an angry man.
Trust
I
me,
will be
dude,
an
I
angry,
don't want
angry man.
I don't want it to happen at all, man.
I need you to quit speaking into existence. You got to stop.
I think one
Stop.
person I don't look for sure is Jalen Monroe.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere, but I'm not too high on him. I think he had a
Or the
he had a
quarterback from
couple-
Ole Miss. He's kind of underlooked too.
Yeah, Jackson Dart. Yeah, Jackson Dart's pretty good. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys anymore. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. To, I mean, do you guys want to do this one here?
Yeah, let's do
We'll
it.
this one. Okay, all right. So I don't really, I don't know why Trey put this here. He has someone he really wants to talk about, so we're gonna talk about it. So, who's your favorite all-time player to get drafted in the NFL or just ever?
NFL.
Okay, NFL. Okay, go ahead, Trey, because you obviously know who. Because you
Yeah.
the question. All right, go
For
ahead.
me, it's Tom Brady, man.
Okay.
It's Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you're always
I'm
surprised,
shocked.
but it's Tom Brady. But here's why, because I thought about. I kind of mentioned it a couple weeks ago when things happened with me and my job, that how I don't know, people think that I'm done, but I ain't done. I'm gonna be back in media, and plus top of that, I like the story too. He went at 540. He was literally a giraffe when he came out from the combine, and he became the GOAT. And that's a great story. And I think that motivated him too. So,
Yeah. Okay. Jaden?
I think I gotta go Tom Brady too.
Okay. Yeah.
mean-
I mean, that's a great story.
It
It's
is.
a great story. From nothing to the GOAT is pretty impressive. So I didn't really think about it. I have a couple players I like. So the way it happens in the NFL is that I get my favorite players, whoever helped me the most in fantasy that season. So I'm gonna stick with that trend. So my favorite player to ever be drafted is Jamar Chase. I love him. He won me a fantasy football championship. So he is right now my favorite player ever. And that will change next year for whoever carries me in fantasy next year. I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. Jamar Chase. No, I actually do like Jamar Chase a lot. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase because why not? Because he's amazing. So that being said, we're going to move on to a little bit of golf as we wrap things up here, guys. The RBC National just happened. Is one of the premier minor events in the PGA. I guess the RBC Heritage actually is what it's called. And this is one of the premier minor tournaments. It's a pretty big deal, big payout. $3.6 million to the winner, big payout. Justin Thomas pulled it out. He pulled it out. He did tie the course record in round 1 with a 61. He ended up winning in a playoff against Andrew Novak when he birdied the first hole of the playoff, which sounds familiar. Sounds like something that just happened recently. Can't really remember exactly what it was, but that sounds really familiar. But no, I'm very happy for JT. I believe I'm going to pull this up here. I think it's his first win in quite a while.
I think since 2021 PGA, right?
No,
not 2022 PGA. My bad, 2022.
I believe it was. Maybe that was, yeah. His last win was in the 2022 PGA Championship. So he hasn't won in roughly 3 years, almost exactly 3 years, actually. 3 years next month will be when it was. But he won the checkered jacket. It's basically the Mickey Mouse version of the green jacket. But nonetheless, still an impressive win. He played great. He proved a lot of doubters wrong. Trey has been harping on JT all year to get a win. So, Trey, I want you to take this one. How did you feel about JT's performance this weekend?
Yeah, so I watched this tournament. It was a great win for JT. JT finally came on the winner's circle because right now, I think what's motivating him is that he's not in the Ryder Cup standings right now, but now he's back up there in the top 10 and points. So I think that motivated him a lot.
Yeah,
but JT has a lot of talent in him because
he does.
He has a lot of talent, man. He's one of the best iron games in the game I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
His short game is unbelievable too.
Absolutely.
But it's just his putting, man. Gets him a lot. And I think he overthinks it a little bit sometimes on the course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, JT, congrats to you though. Now go win a major, bro.
And that being said, Jaden, did you want to talk about the RBC at all?
I mean, not a whole bunch more that's already been said, but he did finally win something.
Yeah, it's big.
Major or not,
Hey, $3.6 million is $3.6 million, guys.
I'd be walking home happy.
Yeah,
same.
Absolutely. And I believe it's a pretty big deal for the FedEx Cup playoffs, or for the FedEx Cup as well. Let me see how many points for the FedEx Cup it is. That's a pretty big win there. Scotty won it last year. 700 FedEx Cup points. It's a signature event, so it's 700 plus 3.6 million. He gets a cool checkered jacket. He gets back in the winner's circle. He gets, major confidence back. Going 61, 69, 69, 68 on the week. Fantastic performances. So that leads me to my next question. Trey already kind of alluded to it. Can JT win a Masters this year? I'm not a Masters. Sorry. I'm still on the Masters. Rory won that one, guys. Sorry about that. Can JT win a major? And if you think so, which major do you see him winning this year?
I mean, I think his best shot is probably at Quail Hollow. I have Roy winning that, by the way. I have Roy winning that back to back. But that's his best shot to win the major this year is at Quail Hollow. So yeah, maybe Quail Hollow, but if not, maybe next year.
Okay, Jaden.
Me personally, just with the way that he's been playing this whole season, I don't see him winning another one. Not to say that he can't, but I just personally don't see it happening. I think it's going to take a lot, because majors are tough.
Majors are hard, man. Majors are hard,
especially majors compared to like just a regular tournament. It's a real big mental thing, and if you're not mentally there, then your whole game just is gone. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's possible. I don't see it happening.
Absolutely. So I agree with Trey. I think his best shot is Quail Hollow. I feel like that's the course that best suits his game out of the remaining majors. I just don't see him being able to win the US Open. I think he could have a chance at Royal Portrush for the Open, because like Trey said, he has a great iron game, which bodes well for an Open. But I think his best chance is at Quail Hollow. We'll see if this propels him into major confidence heading into Quail Hollow. I like I said, I have to see how freed up, burdenless Rory plays. I have to see that, because he could go on a nasty tear. He truly could. So I want to see that. But like Jaden said, majors are hard. Ask the guy who just won the Masters. It took him 10 years to win another one. They're very, very difficult unless your name is Tiger Woods or Trey's favorite golfer, Jack Nicklaus.
Overrated.
Oh man.
Unless you're one of those guys, majors are very, very hard to win.
Overrated, guys.
So we'll see what happens. But
I get Jack Murray in the club.
Okay, bro. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
I think they can beat him too.
I cannot beat Jack Nicklaus. I couldn't beat Jack Nicklaus right now, and he's like 90 years old.
I think some can beat him.
What?
I think some guy can beat him.
All right. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm happy for JT. I'm really happy for JT. It's a big win for him. He could have ended up, selling it, but he played a great round 4. Just steady 3 under, got him in the playoff. He ended up pulling it out in the playoff. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for the rest of the majors. I just hope at least one of them is as good as the Masters was. I don't think that's possible. But at least somewhere close would be great. So, all right. So that was our final topic, but Trey added something that only he can talk about because I don't know anything about this, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So John Cena, guys, John Cena won his 17th WWE championship at whatever event this was at, WrestleMania. So by the way, guys, Trey thinks the WWE is real, like not like not the fact that they like hurt each other, because like I think that they get hurt, like that happens. Mm-hmm. Trey thinks it's not scripted, which it's very obviously scripted. But anyways, Trey, I guess I'll ask you the question because I have no idea. Is John Cena the GOAT of WWE now?
Yeah, he is, man. And I like The Rock too, and Stone Cold. But
golly.
I don't even know what constitutes the GOAT in the WWE. This is great, man.
That's the most ever, man. He beat Ric Flair's record.
Okay, wow, that's impressive. That's super impressive, bro. Yeah, so he's the GOAT of the WWE now. I can't believe an Invisible Man is the GOAT of WWE, but yeah, I never got into WWE. Jaden, do you know anything about it? Could you add anything to this topic?
All I'm saying is that if you watch WWE, there's a conversation that is had between each person before every single time that they're either, hitting each other or throwing each other.
Yeah.
It's because they got to follow the script. So
you got to follow the script.
John Cena is the scripted MVP, supposedly.
Yeah, he's
according to the script. He paid the script writers off
he might have. I don't know what it means, but good for him, I guess.
Let me just tell you this. Go online, go to Google, wherever you go, and just type in, is the WWE real? You will find more things saying that the WWE is scripted and fake than you will people saying that it is 100% legit.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point.
No, WWE is entirely fake. In the sense
entirely fake
are not real competitions.
So I believe people get hurt and like they hit each other.
I agree with that.
They'll slam each other. They'll hit each other with tables, all that. But the winner of each match is scripted because it's an entertainment show.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's World Wrestling Entertainment, not World Wrestling Federation anymore.
Fake, actually,
oh, now it's fake.
It's fake. I just did it to be someone that I'm gonna say on the air because
I know Trey does that to rage bait me. He'll rage bait me by saying it's real.
I'm also gonna get. I was probably being that one dude that I used to work with. Y'all know his name. Y'all know your name.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. That guy is pretty funny. But yeah, good on John Cena. He is the GOAT. I like John Cena in every movie I've seen him in. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a lot better of an actor than The Rock. So I'm glad
He's a
John
great
Cena's
actor
the
on and
GOAT.
off the mat.
Exactly. I'm glad he's the GOAT. And I don't there's probably a lot of people that are really hyped up about this. I wish I was one of them, but I know Trey is a watcher of WWE. So
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I just saw it on Instagram. I'm not wasting my 2 hours of watching WrestleMania, bro.
Bro, what do you mean? I thought you loved the WWE.
I tried getting into it, guys, because of the places to work at, and I just couldn't get into it. It was just the most. I fell asleep. It was boring.
Okay.
Watching Chad Nicholas play golf. Not even that good.
There's Jack Nicholas Stray right there.
Always better than him. Watch. Give him 3
yeah.
minutes.
We'll see what happens if Rory gets to 10. Well, hey, Paul Pierce, we'll have some uncomfortable conversations if Rory gets to 10. How about that, buddy? How about that? Huh? But yeah, guys, that wraps us up for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember to do like, comment, subscribe.
Giveaway.
The giveaway is still on. The Playbook Pod's first giveaway. Like I said, I don't know what video Trey's going to pick for whatever comments, but you have to be a subscriber. You have to and comment on one of the videos, and Trey will pick the winner, and he will, send out that giveaway, whatever it is. I don't know what it is yet. We're gonna see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. It helps us out a lot. Please be on the lookout for more episodes. This episode will be up shortly this week, and then we will be back next week. We might have a special episode Saturday. I'm not sure yet. We have to figure it out. We might have a special GOAT debate episode, which might get really heated, and it might end up me kicking somebody out of the call. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet. I'm trying to prepare myself mentally for the rage bait. So I'm gonna be prepared. We'll see what happens, but that should be fun whenever we get to do it. If it's not this Saturday, it'll be sometime soon. So be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for our regularly scheduled episode 33 next week. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy some basketball. Enjoy the draft. We'll cover the draft next week when it happens. Unless something crazy happens, we might have to do an emergency episode. But thanks, guys, so much again. Thanks for all your support, and we will see you again in the next episode. Y'all have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you're watching. So y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.